All right, now, Kelly, I know we've been waiting patiently to hear what's going on with little Zoey.
Well, I'll try to be. It was a long, drawn-out thing. I'll try to. Okay. So my daughter wanted grapes. She wanted some fruit, and she's such a teenager. She won't eat. So I'm like, whatever you'll eat, I'll buy. So I got some grapes, and I washed them, and I just left them in a colander in the sink.
Yeah.
And I came out about lunchtime yesterday out of the office. I was working, and I noticed grapes were on the counter. I'm like, what were they doing on the counter? Did Emma Kelly leave them on the counter? They weren't in the sink anymore. And I looked down, and Zoey, our schnauzer, she's a mini schnauzer. She's not a year old yet. She'll be a year old in about a month or so. But she was chewing, you know how grapes come in bunches, and the stalk or the stem, I guess you call it, she was chewing on something, and I reached down, and she was chewing on the stem. I was like, Zoey, where'd you get that? And I just threw it away, thinking my daughter had just, maybe missed the trash can when she threw that away. So hours passed. And I made Emma Kelly, because, teenagers stay in the room. I made her come down. I said, you need to come down and spend time with the family. And so we were down there, and we were just playing around with Zoey. And I said, what was up with the grapes? And she's like, what about them? She goes, I didn't eat any grapes. I said, well, we were explaining it. She said, Mom, if Zoey ate them, they're toxic. I talked to the vet, and she said, take her to the emergency room right now because, this is a situation. Yeah. So I flew to the emergency room. I apologized for speeding, but somebody would have flashed their lights at me, I'd be like, thank you for the warning. I'm going to keep going.
Still getting it, yeah.
So the people, they met me there. And, of course, I couldn't go in with her because of what's going on. But they forced her, because I was like, I'm not sure if she ate them or not. I just saw her chewing the stalk. I don't know.
Yeah.
They forced her to throw up. A ton of grapes came out. So she ate a bunch.
Oh, my
Like
goodness.
the whole...
A bunch.
Yeah.
But at this point, it had been hours.
Yeah.
But it's still, so there was some, I'm getting nervous talking about it. So what do we do? So he said, we're going to keep her, and we're going to give her charcoal, and that binds up whatever's left in their system and forces it out. I guess, like Pepto-Bismol is charcoal based. So anyway, they said we're going to put her on IV, and we're going to have fluids pumped through her and try to flush this through her system, because the first 24 hours is the most serious. That's where the kidney damage can be done. And of course, I'm just like, oh my God, what have I done?
How'd she get up there, Kelly? Is she able to jump up?
Thank you, JC. We have a chair that backs up to this counter in the way our house is built. She figured out how to jump on the counter. And we caught her. We'd had some barbecue, and we'd left it out. And, when we're eating, we don't think the dog can jump up. She got up on the counter and was eating our barbecue. And I just wasn't thinking the grapes were in the sink.
Yeah.
But she is she's a puppy, and you've got to keep your eye. And believe me, I have beaten myself up so much over this. It is my fault. It is my fault, though. It's an accident, but it's still my fault. So I should have, no more food, and I will keep an eye on that dog like a hawk. But anyway, so he calls. He doesn't. I couldn't even wait. I waited about an hour and 15 minutes. I was like, I can't stand it. So I called him, and the doctor said at that point her kidney levels were normal, which was a great sign. And so we're like, thank you, Lord. Because I went on Instagram Live, and I'm not one of those people that's like, I have an unspoken prayer request. I'm like, no, I know there's a lot going on in this world, and this is probably not a big deal to a lot of people, but I'm just so upset. Please pray. And I had so many people praying. But the doctor called this morning and said she's doing really well. He waits 24 hours to test her kidney levels again. And at that point, he says if she's still at good levels, he feels confident to bring her home.
Okay.
If not, we're going to leave her hooked up to an IV for another 24 hours. But she's eating, she's peeing, and she's pooping. And he said those are all very good signs.
Good.
But, it was just...
I know.
I know,
that
Kelly.
dog
man.
is Alan's world, and he's taken so much time with her. And I cannot tell you how upset I was. And I'm getting upset thinking about it.
I know.
Because it is so stupid what I did.
Well,
but, I don't know if I'll ever have another grape in my life. I'm so mad.
So maybe
So
we'll
anyway.
keep praying. We'll keep praying for Zoey.
Thank you. And I'm just, Alan is just so upset. But we're confident it's going to be good.